You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry, ChillyBoy Chillson, and this is my recap and discussion on the 2023 Academy Awards. Now, before we get into this video, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Tonight was the big night, the 95th Annual Academy Awards, the biggest night in all of Hollywood. And, well, for many of us film fans, it is the big night of the year. On the channel, we've been doing our predictions, we've been doing reactions. I have a couple live reactions up on the channel, a couple categories I was really invested in during the ceremony. But when all was said and done, Everything Everywhere All at Once came out as the big winner of the evening, taking home a grand total of 7 awards out of its 11 nominations, including some of the biggest awards of the evening. Now, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but this actually was one of my favorite Oscars in maybe ever, to be honest. Now, first of all, when do you get to actually experience your favorite film of the year? Not your favorite film nominated at the Oscars or your favorite awards type film. No, 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 no. My favorite film out of everything I saw in 2022 just won the award for Best Picture. Oh, that never happens. I don't know if it's ever happened actually in my lifetime. Certainly not since I've been like documenting it. I've had a couple of favorite films of the year sneak into Best Picture or have a chance at some other awards, but never has my fave gone on to win the big one. So for that to happen this year, I'm over the moon. And for it to be on this wacky, heartfelt, Asian-led project makes me even more thrilled for Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's the small film that could, both at the box office and throughout award season, people were trying to tear it down left, right, and center. It was too weird. It was too wacky. Older generations aren't going to understand it. Well, guess what? They did, and they loved it, and they voted for it. In my eyes, this bodes very well for the Academy and their current makeup, how they are actually continuing to grow. Now, we have a long way to go in several of these other branches that make up the full Academy. Hello, Best Lead Actress, still an issue with those nominees. Same thing with Best Lead Actor, still an issue with the makeup of those nominees every year. But the fact that a POC-led film that really speaks to being an immigrant that is made on such a small budget for a film like this, that had such a small crew, like 5 people on the editing team, these 2 guys who have made some really strange films to this date, that's out of the box, that isn't really a drama, it's not a biopic, it's none of the standards of the Oscars, went on and won Best Picture. And this comes only a couple years after Parasite won for Best Picture, another completely out of the box POC Asian led cast. This time, well, presumably because they were speaking English, we got some of the actors actually in the categories as well. I think it's just amazing that a film like Everything Everywhere All at Once won this award, and it won so emphatically. It won big. Yeah, I have to say it. Some people might say, oh, but the classics are this or that, recency bias, or whatever you want to say to make yourself feel better. This is one of my favorite Best Picture winners of all time. It's honestly skyrocketed into my list of favorite films of all time. I adore Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was championing it ever since its release. I saw it 4 times, I believe, in movie theaters upon its initial release. Cosplayed as Evelyn at Denver Fan Expo. I adore this film. Now, not only did Everything Everywhere All at Once take home the big award for Best Picture, it also won for Best Directing for The Daniels, which I thought it was pretty much a shoo-in for that award at this point, though I also thought it was a shoo-in for Best Picture, so there we go. It also took home Best Film Editing with that very sexy Paul, who was the editor on this film. We've been thirsting over him all season long, though he said the dreaded words, my wife, in his acceptance speech. But it also took home Best Original Screenplay and took home a massive three acting awards on the evening. Two amazing, one, well, So let's talk about the elephant in the room, Miss Jamie Lee Curtis winning for Best Supporting Actress. No, this was the one award I was actively rooting against Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, that's not to say I was rooting against Stephanie Hsu. It's because I knew she wasn't going to take it for this movie, even though she was more deserving. They hadn't really pushed her and they left her by the wayside. Her and Hong Chow were just kind of like along for the ride tonight. And even Darren Aronofsky's old stupid shady ass had to go and tell Hong Chow that. Jamie Lee's role just wasn't substantial to the film. It was okay. It was fun. It's fine. I don't dislike her in the film. I actually think she is quite good. And it is a departure for her. But I mean, come on. Really, this is what we're giving the award to for Best Supporting Actress in a year that had so many stellar performances. And it makes me even more frustrated when Angela Bassett is sitting right there, who also has a lifetime achievement type of narrative going for her, has been here before, that should have an Oscar by this point in her career. Arguably, for me at least, and I think for many others, Angela Bassett has given many more awards worthy performances than the likes of Jamie Lee Curtis. Of course, she got here for a comic book film, so they snub their nose, particularly a Marvel film. Can't allow that to win one of the main awards, now can we, darling? Just frustrating that Angela was overlooked and her award was being propped up in the same sort of fashion as our eventual winner. And of course, Carrie Condon was who I predicted, but I'm going to be honest. Starting about Thursday or Friday, I really pretty much in my head was like, I should change that to Jamie Lee Curtis. I should change that to Jamie Lee Curtis. Pretty much right up to the front of this broadcast, I knew I needed to change that to Jamie Lee Curtis. But my official predictions were already out there. They were Carrie Condon. I just knew in the pit of my stomach Jamie Lee was taking this home. And, well, unfortunately, she did. But her speech was lovely. She's lovely. So in my heart, I'm glad to see Jamie Lee, a horror icon, succeed. It kind of sucks that it happened here and now like this. As for Ke Huy Quan, the golden boy of award season this year. His speeches were amazing, and his speech at the Oscars was no different. I love that he really directs his energy toward the audience members to like uplift us and pep talk us as he accepts his award. But the greatest story in Hollywood 2022 was Ke Huy Quan making that comeback. Then, of course, the big one. My favorite win of the entire evening was Michelle Yeoh for Best Lead Actress. And I had predicted her. I thought she was going to take it. But man, Cate Blanchett was sitting right there. And I was so scared. I was so nervous that she was going to lose. But they did it. They actually gave it to Michelle. Only our second ever non-white winner in the Best Leading Actress category. In 95 years, we've had two, Halle Berry and now Michelle Yeoh. Speech was also so amazing, and I love that she has dedicated so much of this award season to uplifting young Asian talent and younger boys and girls coming up who are getting the door slammed in their face because of what they look like. I know the controversy around that article she shared, but that was the heart of the article that she wanted to get through. I was also really happy to be wrong in my prediction for Best Lead Actor, as Brendan Fraser took it home. The SAG Awards turned out to be the best prediction for the Oscars this year, as they went 4 for 4 in the acting categories, and then 5 for 5 if we include ensemble to picture. No shade to Austin Butler. I just wasn't personally keen on yet another biopic, performance winning, and for Elvis, who really is like the easiest celebrity to impersonate, let's be honest. And I think Austin's work was actually quite great in Elvis. I think he got the mannerisms down and he added a lot of layers. Brendan Fraser just spoke to me on a different level. Another great story that the Academy just gravitated towards in a stellar performance. I was so happy. His speech was also so amazing. We had four people who were long overdue, I guess, for one reason or another, whether it be the bias against her genre filmmaking, whether it be Ki Hoi Kwan, who wasn't getting work, who got ran out of Hollywood basically for being an Asian man, Brendan Fraser, who was sexually assaulted and made to feel unwelcome, uncomfortable, and unsupported in this business, or Michelle Yeoh, who also was not offered work for such a long time and has had this beautiful renaissance as of late and given her time to shine. Stories for the acting categories were certainly there. And overall, I really wish Angela had that story for supporting actress. I was just so happy, particularly with lead actor and actress, because I was nervous with those to get the outcome we got. All Quiet on the Western Front actually overperformed in the technical categories, which shouldn't really have been a shock, seeing as how it's pretty much been overperforming all season long. I predicted it in almost all of the wins it got, except for production design. That was the real shocker for me. But that means Babylon went home empty handed. We talked about Austin Butler, Elvis blanked at the Academy Awards. It won zero. Tar, nothing. And another film that I personally loved that received several nominations, Banshees of Inisherin, nada. Overall, my predictions were okay. Early on, I thought I was going to really be in trouble, but I got 17 out of 23 correct. Should have been 18 because I really should have switched that supporting actress over to Jamie Lee, but what can you do? And I'm going to be honest, as we watched, as Elvis lost costume design and hair and makeup, I knew Brendan Fraser was about to win this thing. So if I were predicting in real time, I would have also predicted Brendan Fraser with how the night was going, but my predictions were locked in. On to some of the other aspects of the awards. Naturally, we ran almost 40 minutes long. So who knows what they're going to do about that next year. They tried playing people off and they tried, cutting things down, but they re-added all 23 awards because we made such a fuss about it. I will say the way they played people off was actually quite disrespectful to me. I didn't love it, but again, it's time to just accept it's going to be a 4-hour long show, right? Like 3.5 hours is pretty much the average runtime for the Academy Awards. Why not just slot it in for 3.5 hours? What else wasn't a cute look was continuing to harp on all the black cinema you all did an award this year. Just giving it a little call out isn't quite enough. Whoever that was at Entertainment Weekly, that anonymous white male actor who thought it was real cute to talk down to Gina Prince Bythewood and Viola Davis. Yeah, I'm still waiting for you to expose yourself or for the editors over at Entertainment Weekly to do so for you, because you need to be seen for who you really are. Stop hiding behind that anonymous ballot. Overall, Jimmy Kimmel, no. I mean, it just didn't really work for me. There was a joke here or a joke there that I thought was okay, but I'm ready to go back to no host, y'all. I know a lot of you just really want a host to work. I found that the show just ran smoother the years that we had no host. You can save time because you don't have all these opening monologues and all these bits. Have the presenters do a little bit of a bit if you want, like we did, but no, it's not it. And you're trying to find all these comedians to do it. None of them are working at all. Of course, we had our best original song performances, including Lady Gaga. Originally, we were told she wouldn't be able to perform thanks to her filming Joker 2, but she was there in person, and it was very evidently a very last second put together performance. She was doing a like little singer-songwriter style thing. The camera work was absolutely atrocious. Thankfully, her vocals were on point. I just found it a little interesting, I guess, that she ran backstage, put on, some old raggedy ass clothes that she found in some garbage bin, and like furiously wiped the makeup off her face. I know the makeup artists and wardrobe folks who gave her that dress and helped her get ready were mad when they saw her go up on that stage like that, especially because the camera was like right in her face the whole time. And there she was without that beautiful makeup that an artist put on her. Performance was solid. I just wanted a big bombastic performance for that 80s power ballad, Hold My Hand. Applause, fine. I mean, it was pretty unmemorable in the performance department. This Is the Life. Ooh, was rough, y'all. I'm sorry. You know I love Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I like what they were doing, like trying to be creative and integrate things from the film, but the vocals were not good, the mixing was not good. Just nothing about that live performance worked for me. Easily the worst performance of the night. Natu was fire. It blew the house off the place. I'm so glad it won for Best Original Song because that acceptance speech was also amazing. And that was also groundbreaking, a historic win. But the performance itself was a lot of fun. They used the choreography, it was great. But I do have to say, Rihanna stole the night. She gave the performance of the evening, the best vocals of the evening. To me, this was actually better than her Super Bowl. She looked fantastic. I wish they had lit that stage better so we could see the musicians behind her and see that stage that they put up. Instead, it was like all on her. Everybody else was in darkness. But I do believe she had like a full black orchestra, full black musicians behind her. So that's fantastic. She was really wonderful. In Memoriam was beautiful with Lenny Kravitz giving a wonderful performance. I do find it weird when we go from like showing the people full screen to coming back and showing the stage with the person up above. It just feels strange to me because sometimes you're kind of like, what? Who is that back there? Rather than when it's just giving us who it is. I don't know that we need to see the stage, to be honest. It's not about the stage. It's not about Lenny Kravitz or whoever's performing the song. It's about the people we're paying respect to. However, Charles B. Dean, who was one of the lead stars of Triangle of Sadness, died completely unexpectedly last year. It was a really tragic passing for her. And she was a nominee, one of the Best Picture nominees, and she was excluded. They didn't include her in the in memoriam as they, found time to honor her film. It was very strange. I find it actually quite disrespectful and a huge oversight on the Academy's part to not include her. The rest of the night was okay when we were in between bits. However, the two moments that really stood out, one, Cocaine Bear and Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks almost face planting it as she walked out in that dress that we'll be talking about in the fashion segment at the end here. I thought it was a fun bit that she's talking about visual effects and bringing out this guy in the suit for Cocaine Bear. The other one was the presentation for The Little Mermaid. Now, I knew The Little Mermaid was getting a new trailer tonight, but I thought it was going to be like Super Bowl style, like, oh, make sure you're watching the Oscars for the brand new trailer. Instead, they had Melissa McCarthy and Halle Bailey come out on stage, give this like quick little montage about, 100 years of Disney, and we're so happy about The Little Mermaid. And then they presented and showed the trailer as like actually part of the broadcast. It was so strange, really the weirdest thing I've seen, to have an entire segment dedicated to introducing a movie trailer. I'm just happy that all 23 categories are back on the broadcast. I'm happy that we have actual clip packages back for the nominees. Film is a visual medium that deserves that. And voters, please listen to Guillermo del Toro. He's been preaching the word all season long. The animation is a medium, not a genre, that deserves respect and needs to get the respect that it has been overdue. Unfortunately, you all did not listen, as he said it this year, and pretty much disrespected animation by and large in every category outside of its exclusives. Listen to Tito Guillermo and do better. Okay, now here on the channel, we can't talk about the Academy Awards without addressing some of the fashions. You know that's right. It's time for my best and worst dressed on the red carpet, or should I say, the champagne carpet for the 2023 Academy Awards. First of all, worst dressed, the carpet itself. Put it red again. What are we doing? Who came up with this idea for a champagne carpet and then this really white background for them to pose against? So if you're wearing white, I mean, you were screwed this year. It was just a really not good setup for photographs. Throw that idea out, go back to what works. Let's head back to the classics. Now, for those that I thought, well, missed the mark, Delavigne, this dress just swallowed you up. And that big bow on the side, yuck. This, though, never declined. I loved the jewelry, I loved the shoes even, and the makeup and hair looked stunning. It was just that oversized, poofy red dress that didn't work for me. Essie Buckley in this like gothic princess look, I mean, it could have worked. It almost worked, but the hair just killed it for me. A nice slicked back do with this kind of dress might have at least bumped her into the neutral territory, but as it is, a cohesive look, it just wasn't quite there. Burn Cox, we love you, you're a queen. However, this was not a very queenly look of you, ma'am. I don't know what that undershirt brown was. Was it supposed to be like skin toned? Because it certainly was not. You are not that ashy. As for the rest of it, it was just really disjointed. Even if you took out that brownish gray thing underneath, it would have been a bit too revealing for Academy Awards. It still looks very disjointed. I wasn't a fan. Melissa McCarthy, love you, ma'am, but you don't need to channel Ursula here on the carpet, do you? Because that poof on the skirt with the like ridges that kind of look like tentacles, yuck. I hated that skirt. And I hated the cut of this going all the way up here. It looks so stuffy and put into this attire. The poof on the sleeves was unflattering, and then that full skirt just didn't work. The fabrics in general didn't work, but the cut of this dress was really tragic. Monica Barbaro looks like she put on a curtain and then wrapped the drapes around her waist. Disjointed mess of a look for me. This Grecian style could have been beautiful with that underdress, but wrapping that horrible velvet-like maroon skirt around it? No. Rooney Mara. Well, cut up top is just really tragic, actually. I mean, this is highly unflattering. The chest portion of the dress, this little moment here, was all too low. It needed to be lifted just a touch. I liked the shoulders. And then that bottom, I don't know what was happening. It actually looked tied in the back. Like it was braided or something. I don't know, but the dress was just horrible. Oh, my beloved, this could have worked if those ridges, scoops on the sides were not there. The sleeve and the flowy fabric, that color is absolutely gorgeous on Sandra, but wow, the sides of that dress just killed it. Wait, Saldana, this is a cute enough dress, but not for the Oscars, ma'am. I don't know. This just felt very summer dress walking down the street. The Rock Johnson, you're here for the men because that coat is atrocious. Absolutely hideous, sir. No. And then my picks for the two worst dressed of the evening. Florence Pugh, who is right. I don't know what this dress is, except hideous. Face card is stunning. The hair is okay. But woo, that dress is something wild and not in a good way at all. It literally does look like a bed comforter just wrapped over the top of some Spanx, maybe? Like a little tiny bodysuit? A little bathing suit, maybe? I don't know what's under there, but the over the top, exaggerated comforter on top of it, really. Oh, this is horrible. And Elizabeth Banks. Yeah, that dress tried to kill you. And probably for good reason, because you never should have been wearing it. It's absolutely hideous. I think you're going for some cool looking structural moment, but this is like gift wrapping gone bad. This is the type of Christmas present. You see the wrapping looks like that, and you pick everything else around it. The white that makes up the skirt is so long, obviously, as we saw her trip on it. It's too long and doesn't fit. The black moment over the top could have been cool if there was something more done with the structure. It goes from like highly structured to loose and flowy by the end with this huge train and this gigantic, hideous bow to go with it. The hair is not right for this gown. I don't know what we're doing up top with the hair and makeup team on this one. Really, just from top to bottom, the look doesn't work for you, Elizabeth Banks. At least you were able to get a funny bit out of it, I suppose. For my picks for best dressed of the evening, Angela Bassett was a pure vision in this stunning purple gown. It was so close to being wrong, but it fell down in the right places, become just right. She looked gorgeous. She looked ready to win an award she should have won. Makeup was stunning. The hair was absolutely gorgeous. And the accessories were divine. Came to the man, there were a lot of traditional suits, and actually quite a lot of them looked nice. People were doing like double-breasted. I thought people like Michael B. Jordan and Andrew Garfield looked amazing. Pedro Pascal almost looked fantastic. Oh, just his pants were a little too baggy. However, I have to first give a shout out to James Holland, who looked divine in this blue number three-piece suit. Just looked so sharp on him. I loved the deep blue and then the light blue undershirt, and it was all topped with a stunning personal choice of putting those googly eyes on the bows of his bow tie. He looked wonderful. And my favorite outfit on a man this go round was Harry Shum Jr., who wonderfully tied together his Asian heritage with a traditional Western style suit. It was chic, it was inventive, it was culturally relevant for him and his film this year, and he looked damn fine in it. Oh, absolutely amazing. The next pick on the best dress side of things, I think it's going to be controversial. I don't know if a lot of people are actually going to think she looked well dressed. I loved Kate Hudson's ensemble. It was sparkly, it was beautiful, it laid just right. This is how you do a lot, but make it still look fashionable. While she had the poof bits on the sleeves and she had the train, having this intricate work up top with a lot of skin showing up here and having those poofs be the only part of the sleeve really helped slim it all down and create it from becoming this like cotton candy confetti. Plus, the makeup and the hair were stunning. The outfit fit her beautifully. I thought she looked great. Finally, my last mention for best dressed is Miss Michelle Williams, who was a vision in white on the red carpet. I absolutely loved this dress and I loved the sheer cape that was attached. It was classic, it was chic with a touch of flashy elegance. Obviously, the silver glitter on the cape itself, that beautiful sheer cape, also up here on the top of the dress. Not to mention, I loved that bold red lip with this beautiful choker jewelry that looked to be holding up this cape moment. Hair was right. Everything about this look screamed classic elegance with modern fashion. It was stunning. That was my recap and review, as well as my best and worst dressed on the red carpet. As I said, this was one of my favorite Oscars in recent history for sure, and probably one of my favorite ceremonies of all time. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Also, make sure to join in on the discussion. Did you also have a lot of fun with this year's Oscars? How did you do on your predictions? And what were some of your favorite wins and moments from the night? Let me know all of that down in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.